Anti-abortion and pro-abortion rights protesters faced off outside the last abortion clinic in Mississippi Thursday as it closed its doors for good. The Jackson Women's Health Organization, the clinic named in the Supreme Court lawsuit that led justices to overturn the half-century right to abortion, shuttered after losing a last-ditch legal effort to stay open. The melee on the street mirroring what's happening inside women's healthcare systems. The Supreme Court's reversal of Roe v. Wade unleashed a torrent of litigation as states battled to preserve or ban the right to abortion.
It's absolute chaos.
Andrea Miller is president of the National Institute for Reproductive Health.
You have patients, people, women and others who need abortions, who are having to navigate this complete chaos. And you have healthcare providers and staff at reproductive health clinics who don't know whether from one day to the next, can they treat people, can they provide care to patients, or do they have to close their doors?
Florida's ban on abortions past 15 weeks of pregnancy went into effect Tuesday after a court order blocking its enforcement was put on hold. In Texas, the state's Supreme Court allowed a century-old abortion ban to take effect last week, reversing a temporary restraining order a judge issued 3 days prior that allowed the procedure to resume in the state.
So it's this constant ping-pong effect. And so as a result, now you have several clinics in Texas who've said, we've had to close. We cannot go this back and forth, and we do not trust that the courts are going to have our backs.
With power to define the abortion landscape now vested in the hands of state legislatures and courts, advocates say the upcoming November elections are key to determining the future of abortion rights.
Clashes broke out in eastern Congo on Thursday between military and M23 rebels, a civil society and rebel source said. This came just a day after Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda agreed to de-escalate tensions from a rebel insurgency. That's according to the Congolese presidency on Wednesday, after Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi and his Rwanda counterpart Paul Kagame met at a summit in Angola's capital. Diplomatic tensions have risen sharply between the neighbors since the M23 rebel group began a major offensive in Congo's eastern borderlands at the end of March. Congo has accused Rwanda of backing the group. Kigali denies this and in turn has accused Kinshasa of fighting alongside another armed group intent on seizing power in Kigali. In a statement posted on Twitter after the summit was concluded, the Congolese presidency said the agreement included an immediate cessation of hostilities and the retreat of M23 fighters from Congo. It added a Rwanda-Congo commission that had previously been dormant will meet again in Luanda on July 12th. Angola's presidency issued a similar statement to the Congolese one. There was no immediate statement from Kagame. Rwanda's government spokesman could not be reached for comment.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Boris Johnson has resigned, triggering the search for a new British Prime Minister. But how will a new Premier be chosen? Candidates who wish to make a bid for the leadership, of which there could be many, must be nominated by at least 2 other Conservative lawmakers. Those lawmakers then hold several rounds of voting in a secret ballot to whittle down the field. Each time, the person with the fewest votes is eliminated. This process is then repeated until there are just 2 candidates remaining. The final 2 are then put to a postal ballot of the wider Conservative Party membership, and the winner will be named the new leader and the de facto Prime Minister. Although he or she does not have to call a snap election, they do have the power to do so. So how long could all this take? The duration of a leadership contest can vary and depends on how many people put themselves forward. Johnson himself faced former Health Minister Jeremy Hunt in the runoff ballot of Conservative members to replace outgoing Theresa May in 2019 and took office 2 months after she announced her intention to resign.
To ask Boris Johnson to form a new administration.
This time around, the process could be accelerated before Parliament takes its 6-week summer recess from July 21st. Votes have previously been held every Tuesday and Thursday.
Thank you all very much.
It's too early to predict who will replace Johnson, but there are some lawmakers likely to take a shot at the top job. Foreign Minister Liz Truss, a favourite of the ruling Conservative Party's grassroots, has regularly topped polls of party members carried out by website Conservative Home in the past. Hunt could take a second punt at the premiership and would offer a less controversial style of leadership, something that could be welcomed after the party's recent turmoil. Former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak, one of the first to resign from Johnson's government this week, is also likely to run. As could his newly appointed replacement, Nadeem Zahawi, who was in the job just hours before calling on his boss to resign.
Stocks climbed higher Thursday, with the S&P 500 and NASDAQ recording their fourth straight day of gains, as investors reacted positively to recent commentary from the Federal Reserve, which hinted that its aggressive pace of interest rate hikes could be tempered if growth began to suffer. The latest hint came from Fed Governor Christopher Waller, who said the U.S. Central Bank should deliver a 50 basis point hike in September, rather than a 75 basis point increase that some investors were expecting. But Zachary Hill, head of portfolio management at Horizon Investments, said it was very unlikely the Fed will ease up significantly on its interest rate hiking cycle anytime soon.
Some people are talking about the Fed easing or pausing. We think that's completely misplaced. There's essentially no chance after how badly they missed on inflation last year. They really need to see not just one print, not just the leading edge of a slowdown in growth. They need to see inflation falling really materially for many months in a row in order for them to even considering pausing interest rates. So that's not something that's on our radar at all.
The Dow ended more than 1% higher, while the S&P 500 finished up 1.5%, and the NASDAQ posted a more than 2.25% gain. High growth stocks that suffered in the first half of the year and are sensitive to rising interest rates jumped Thursday, with Tesla and Google parent Alphabet posting big gains. Shares of GameStop rose 15% as the video game retailer's board approved a 4-for-1 stock split. Another prominent meme stock, AMC Entertainment, also jumped 15%. And shares of Intel, Nvidia, and Qualcomm all gained after South Korea's Samsung Electronics turned in its best second quarter profit since 2018, driven by strong sales of memory chips.
In a sign of defiance against Moscow, a Ukrainian flag is raised on a recaptured Black Sea island. This video of soldiers installing the flag was released Thursday by Ukraine's armed forces. Reuters was able to verify the location through satellite images. The strategic Snake Island has been a point of contention in the war, captured by Moscow in February. It had become a symbol of Ukraine's refusal to bend to Russia. Russian forces withdrew from there at the end of June in what it called a gesture of goodwill. But it was quick to respond to the flag-raising ceremony, with Russia's defense ministry claiming warplanes struck the island shortly after, killing an unspecified number of Ukrainian troops. Meanwhile, Kyiv has lost a major ally in British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who announced he will be stepping down. Moscow has long criticised Johnson for arming Kyiv and openly celebrated his downfall on Thursday. It comes as Russian forces keep up the pressure in eastern Ukraine. After cementing control of the Luhansk region, Moscow has made it clear it's planning to capture parts of neighbouring Donetsk, which it has not yet seized.